If this were England, I would have to go. But this is America, and you have to go. Well, General Cabell never forgave him for that, especially for causing the end of a brilliant intelligence career. And you can't help but feel that that's not totally irrelevant to the subsequent events when John Kennedy attempted to drive in an open car through the town where General Cabell's brother was mayor.
A presidential study of the CIA's Cuban activities compelled Kennedy to try to curtail the agency.
The National Security Action Memorandum number 55, dated, I believe, in about early July of '61. And it began with this line. He said, I hold the Joint Chiefs of Staff to be as responsible for advice to me in peacetime as they are for advice in wartime. Well, that positive statement just shook up the establishment because it meant that Kennedy was going to shatter the CIA in 1,000 pieces.
Not the exclusive property of Republicans or Democrats.
The president also ordered the withdrawal of the nearly 15,000 advisors in Vietnam.
This caused rising feelings among the industry. They felt that here's this enormous potential, and we're not going to realize it.
The gulf between Kennedy and the CIA has widened almost irreparably.
The increasing conflict between President Kennedy and the CIA over Vietnam was reported by Arthur Kroc on the front page of the New York Times on October 3rd, 1963. It said, twice the CIA flatly refused to carry out instructions from Ambassador Henry Cabot Lodge brought from Washington because the agency disagreed with it. The CIA's growth was likened to a malignancy which the very high official was not sure even the White House could control. If the United States ever experiences an attempt at a coup to overthrow the government, it will come from the CIA. The agency represents a tremendous power and total unaccountability to anyone.
There was no need for anybody to inform Lyndon Johnson of the assassination because it was not necessary to burden them with the knowledge because it would be available to serve the move into Southeast Asia in any case. A larger part of the government bureaucracy, meaning key individuals here and there, were aware than one would assume because there was too much of an overnight adjustment. The FBI was in full cooperation with the CIA and the perpetrators of the assassination within hours.
Although the president is running behind schedule, he pauses momentarily to shake a few hands.
On November 22, 1963, President Kennedy and his wife Jacqueline arrived at Love Field, Dallas, Texas. The crowd showed overwhelming signs of affection. There were other signs. Hundreds of leaflets distributed along the motorcade route accused President Kennedy of treasonous activities against the United States, for betraying the Constitution and for turning the sovereignty of the United States over to communist-controlled United Nations. A full-page ad in the Dallas Morning News that day sarcastically welcomed Mr. Kennedy, not President Kennedy, asking, amongst other things, why Latin America was turning anti-American or communistic. The security around the Dallas motorcade was surprisingly lax, considering then-known threats to the president's life. A motorcade just days before in Miami had been canceled because of one such threat. On November 9th, Miami police had uncovered a plan to assassinate the president with high-powered rifles. FBI and police informant Willie Somerset, wired for sound, secretly recorded a conversation with Joseph Miltier, in which Miltier, a right-wing extremist, disclosed the plan.
And they're going to really try to kill him.
Questioned by the FBI, Miltier denied he had made such threats and was released, but Miami police canceled the motorcade. On November 17th, an FBI airtel was sent to all special agents in charge. It said, "A threat to assassinate President Kennedy. Dallas, November 22, 23. On November 22nd, President George Bush, then a reputable businessman, furnished information to the effect that James Perrott has been talking of killing the president when he comes to Houston.
The assassination would not have been attempted without assurance that certain members of the Dallas police force were going to cooperate. I think it's fair to describe the assassination as essentially a no-risk operation.
A couple hours before Kennedy was to arrive, the sheriff called us in, what I call the street people, the plainclothesmen, the detectives, and he instructed us that we were to stand out in front and in no way take part in the security of that motorcade, that we were merely spectators and nothing more.
A military unit that has had, in addition to its ordinary duties, a training for what we call presidential protection. They need an order from the Secret Service. In the case of Dallas, the colonel was led to believe that his unit wasn't needed, that another one would be there. Everything was all right. He won't be needed.
As late as Thursday, November 21st, the newspapers in Dallas showed the route of the motorcade as it came out Maine, continuing through the extension of Maine, going in the middle of that big pasture they call Dealey Plaza. On Thursday evening, at the 11th hour, the route was changed by the administration of Mayor Earl Cabell